What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today, reactions to the classics. I'm going to be reacting to MGMT and their second record. Congratulations. I want to shout out Shane, our longtime patron, supporter, and a friend of the channel, for suggesting this one for me to do today. I'm looking forward to it. MGMT, my experience with them goes back to Oracular Spectacular, their first album. I'm telling y'all, Electric Feel was my jam in high school and kids, and that record still holds up quite well today, but I've never heard another full MGMT record in full, so I'm excited to get going with this, and this seems to have some nice acclaim and buzz from fans and critics alike, so I'm looking forward to this. So let's just get into the quick facts here. As I said, second studio record released in April of 2010. Debuted at number 2 in the US, 4 in the UK, so nice chart success on both sides of the pond. And if you don't know, MGMT is an American duo consisting of, we have Andrew Van Wijngaarden, who's on lead vocals, lead and rhythm guitars, keyboards, bass, drums, percussion, and then Benjamin Goldwasser, who is on vocals, keyboard, sampling, rhythm guitar, and percussion as well. Album marks a departure from the synth pop style that brought MGMT acclaim on their debut, Oracular Spectacular, released 3 years prior to this, and features a more psychedelic, progressive, and guitar-driven sound. Most of the songs were written by the band in early 2009. They eventually headed to Malibu Studio to work on Congratulations, along with former Spaceman 3 producer Peter Kimber, known professionally as Sonic Boom. I could only hope one day to have a nickname as cool as that. Andrew noted that the album is influenced by the band's massive rise in popularity since Oracular Spectacular's release. Quote, "It's us trying to deal with all the craziness that's been going on since our last album took off. Sometimes it just doesn't feel natural." They originally didn't want to release any singles for this, and in an interview with NME, Goldwasser explained, "We'd rather people hear the whole album as an album and see what tracks jump out rather than the ones that got played on the radio, if anything were to get played on the radio." He also noted there definitely isn't a time to pretend or a kids on the album. We've been talking about ways to make sure people hear the album as an album in order and not just figure out what the best 3 tracks are, download those and not listen to the rest of it. Just from personal, preference, I always prefer to listen to records front to back, and usually I won't check out singles before albums are released because I like to see how they go into context of a record. Sometimes they hit better, sometimes an artist doesn't care, and it's more just a collection of 12 tracks or whatever than a cohesive unit. But I'm liking what I'm reading here, that MGMT kind of went for the cohesive album format unit on this, and that's how it's best listened to, because that's what we're doing today, y'all. Following an online leak, the band offered the album for free streaming on their official website and stated that they, quote, "wanted to offer it as a free download, but that didn't make sense to anyone but them." A little Radiohead in Rainbow stuff in that. Metacritic has this at a 72. Mojo gave it 5 stars. All lyrics are written by Andrew, and all music is composed by the duo MGMT here. So, and thanks, that's the quick facts that we got going. So now it's time to get into the track by track. As always, I'm going to have the lyrics pulled up, going to listen to the full song, enjoy it, and then give my thoughts at the end. Due to copyright, we're not going to be putting the music in here, but if you want to hear the music, there's going to be a link down below, and y'all can check that out. Shout out to the patrons who help keep the channel running and allow us to have that server space. And real quick, if you like this video, you know the drill. Hit that big thumbs up, that big red subscribe if you like what you see. We upload every single day here at RTTC. And if you'd like to maybe have one of us react to a song or a record for you, you can check out our Patreon. Be sure to link up with us on Twitch and Facebook as well. But all that to say, we're up to It's Working. The opening track here was the 3rd single. Is noted that it's about drugs. What's more curious, however, is it's not about LSD. It's about all the ecstasy the boys regret gobbling up in the early throes of their success. All right, I'm already intrigued. There's only 9 tracks on here, 43-minute record, just as an FYI here. So let's get into It's Working. All right, It's Working coming in as our debut track on Congratulations. Definitely setting the tone a little bit sonically. You could feel that more psychedelic influence on this one. A little Baroque pop as well seemed to be going in there. And a lot of tempo shifts in this one. I liked it took me a little bit to get used to Andrew's vocals in here, just since they were kind of so treated and whatnot. But once I kind of got myself into the vibe of the track, the druggy type of nature, and just got myself into the full psychedelic influence a little bit in here. I was really vibing with it in that second half, and lyrically definitely has the strong drug subject matter. And he notes, man, the eyes are wrong. How will I know if it's working right? He notes the mangled lines. I see the signs of aging, but if I try to feel it all, I am deceived. My mind's affected. It's empty now. As I lay down, I feel all right. My heart is racing. Again, just describing what his body and his mind is experiencing as he's going under the influence here. And one of the lines I thought was really just clever. Turn the noise on. I like to feel my poison. Just really calling the drug out for what it is poison here, and yet it's making him feel good, man. It's making him forget. And then the chorus kind of comes in. Great drum fills in here. Those kind of stood out to me sonically here. A lot going on in the background. Pretty busy, but I think that they managed to kind of thread that walk that line between being too busy and then having it all just kind of work and mesh together. These variety of instruments on here, and then he notes here, but it's working in your blood, which it's not the same as love. Love is only in your mind and not your heart, which is kind of left turn from traditionally we think of love coming from my heart, man. But he's noting here, hey, the drug's only working in your blood because your heart's pumping it. Love, the real thing, that most people go and strive for, and if they don't get it, kind of replaced with drugs at times. That comes from your mind. So I thought that was a way to start off the record where I'm already feeling, this isn't going to be all sunny and great, this whole record, man. Which I kind of like. I like that authenticity. And now we're going to go to Song for Dan. Tracy. It threw me off. The Treacy. Dan Tracy is the lead singer and songwriter for the band Television Personalities. Never heard of them, but I like the name Television Personalities. We got a lot of those today that probably think they're more important than they are. But let's get going with this one. All right, Song for Dan Tracy coming in as our second tune here. Definitely kind of up the psychedelic factor in here, especially in that first part. The way that synth was coming in, it sounded like a couple different synths like playing off of each other. Kind of made me feel I was going through like a little circus environment, something like that. And then lyrically, we're building up Dan Tracy and kind of his process or his life here, noting that he spends his time, or maybe half of his time, or part of his time, wandering around the creeks and cobblestones of Hackney lanes with a tear in his eye. As the children walk by, he's thinking of a song, and then stops to paint a picture of a frown. That makes me think his whole songwriting process, actually. I think that we're maybe given a little bit of hint of what the song's about just in that opening line there. Maybe Dan's walking around getting inspiration. Maybe I'm way off base, but that's kind of what I was interpreting the whole time in the track, noting, building the myth of Dan a little bit. I don't know where he lives, but he's a myth of a man. And Texas Bob, the cameraman, is off to fix his suit before the show. Yeah, but where did he go? And then we kind of strip back the overriding synths that were predominant in the first half of the track, and kind of reminded me of the opener, It's Working, because that did that as well. And then we just had Andrew's vocals more focused on in the mix, which was tight. I prefer the first track. This one I think would be a little bit more of a grower, just kind of getting around all the synths and how busy everything's going on in there. but as it just kind of like it's working. As the song kept going more and more, and I was able to latch onto the music behind it, I enjoyed it, man. And then towards the end, he's again in the middle of a park in this setting. He's a poet, he's a lark. He starts thinking about a place that no one knows, and when the creeks run dry, so again the creek popping back up, he stays frozen in time. He's listening, and he's making up his mind. His mind's made up to get things done and overcome. So I thought that was kind of tight as well. You could also, just thinking of the drug kind of theme we had on the last one, maybe this man's trying to overcome something in that regard. There's multiple different interpretations I'm sure you can come up with here, but I like highlighting old Dan Tracy here. I'm going to have to check out some television personalities. And now we're up to the third track, short one here, only 2.5 minutes long. We got Someone's Missing. So let's see what MGMT got for us here. All right, y'all, Someone's Missing. I already got to add that to the like songs. Quite enjoyed this one. We stripped back a lot of that instrumentation that was that psychedelic instrumentation that was apparent on the first two tracks, but I still liked MGMT threw their little flavor in there, had a little sitar action, bit of that Indian influence, which I thought was tight and worked well. And man, that build up for the last like 45 seconds where it all kind of drops down and almost the tension releases, and we go into a very happy sounding melody in there, a bit uplifting wherever he, which is kind of ironic with the lyrics that Andrew's saying, it feels like someone's missing. Just love the way the vocals were treated in that last portion in there as well. A bit of a ominous subject matter. He just starting off, someone's telling the toll to me, I'm cut and weeping like a rubber tree, but I don't care who's left behind. Lost revelations that I'll never find. Saying somewhere there's an honest soul to mirror teeth where neon lures troll, and what's extinct might come alive, a purple smoke in some internal shrine. Again, kind of getting almost that biblical, like apocalyptic imagery coming in here through this, and then our main character, as he says, it feels like someone's missing. The way that progressed, man, and just the way it dropped at the last 45 seconds was just really, really pretty to the ears. So big hit on this one. Definitely will be in contention for my favorite tracks at the end there. Definitely seemed like it could have been single, but this next track, Flash Delirium, was a single. The lead single, in fact, was originally referred to as a taster before the band abandoned their original plan to not release any singles from Congratulations in order to solidify its existence as a singular body of work. On this record, Andrew expresses his feelings towards social networking in this track and directly references a popular site with the line, "Stab your Facebook." Oh man, if only Andrew knew what we'd be like a decade from now. He expands on this in an interview with online magazine Coupe de Maine, stating his disgust at the distraction it causes from real life. Quote, "It's just this weird little world which is fueled by vanity and looking at pictures of yourself." Man, I'm on social media a lot just for this channel, and I have my personal accounts, but I feel like I'm going to agree with a lot of Andrew has to say here with social media, especially in 2021, and what a mess it can be. So let's get some Flash Delirium. So much going on in only a little over 4 minutes, y'all, both musically and of course lyrically as well. Starting off, I enjoyed the sonic experience of this one. Had a lot of different instrumentations in there, pretty intricate arrangements. You had almost like a little harkening back to almost 50s or 60s little harmonies at certain points in here in the backing vocals with the oohs. You had the layered vocals that were going in at the very end there, which I thought was cool. You had the lead vocal in the left ear, the backing vocal saying other things in the right. So cool production and technique by MGMT there. And you even had like a flute pop up for a little bit, the last little 15 seconds or whatever, where you get the stab your Facebook line, really up tempo, almost a bit punkish in a sense. So MGMT showing off all different sides to their musical abilities on this one, and packing a lot of lyrics into boot as well. Still had that psychedelic flavor, I think as well, kind kind of predominating, being the foundation of what they were building off of. And then just lyrically, man, really kind of got to the heart of a lot of the negative side that social media can bring. I really enjoyed the line, "Here's a growing culture deep inside a corpse. Ages stuck together, taking it to the source. Timeless desperation, pictures on a screen, scream, hey people, what does it mean?" Man, great. That's probably my favorite set of lyrics actually up to this point, because isn't all our social media just a growing culture deep inside a corpse? It seems, social media. I like the aspect of connecting and staying connected with people that were once in your life or family or whatever the case may be. It's cool seeing the pictures and updating them and that, but it's whenever you get just a bunch of the other junk. You get the false narratives that can spread like wildfire, and you get the bullying, and then you see other people looking all great, and then you think, oh man, my life sucks, type of deal. So I've often thought about this question: is social media a net negative or a net positive? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below as well. I think I've landed, especially here in the States, the last few years here, as we said in 2021. I've landed on the thing of it's a net negative, but I've met so many people as well through social media, like my guy Shane here. That's great. So it's a double-edged sword, man. But I thought MGMT handled this very well, and I did like the fire of the stab your Facebook line. I thought that was tight. So now we're gonna go to track number 5 here. I found a whistle, as we're already nearing the halfway point of the record. All right, I found a whistle coming in, and again, MGMT is showing off how great they can build a song. We started with that light guitar strum, in that I can't remember, was it an organ or a synth that was kind of introing us into the song. Again, softer kind of vocal treatment, reminded me of Someone's Missing. Love the way the vocals were treated towards the end there, where it again just stripped all the instrumentation back. I've noticed that we're 5 songs in here, and I think on 3 of them we've had a busy kind of background music, and then midway through the track it just strips it back a lot and lets the vocals go in. And this song did that expertly here until we got to the end to that last little verse, and it all like comes together, man. Great way to climax out the track. Very, very impressed with that. One of my favorite just backing, sonic experiences on this record thus far. And you had a little bit of everything instrumentally in there, but it worked, man. It was very easy on the ears. I've noticed as well with MGMT, man, songs are not straightforward, really. Could you just interpret this as actually finding an actual whistle? Yeah, I'm sure you could. You can also interpret it probably as there's a line in here that made me think of drugs. Yeah, I found a whistle as thin as a sheet to split the dumbness of vision between a sleep and asleep. Tiny axes repeatedly raising a flag, all ignored. Real emotions a drag. That again screams to me somebody using drugs or a psychedelic in particular. So that's what I like. MGMT seems to let the listener themselves come up with what they want the song to be in a lot of these cases, and I think this is one of those instances. What do you think I Found a Whistle is about? I think it's just kind of a metaphor for a bunch of different things as we're going through in here, and then we get the line, hey, I've got a pistol that's aimed at your heart, and on dark nights when the moon is right, I could show you the head attached with a scarf. Obviously, whatever the relationship there is probably deteriorating a decent bit if my man's got a pistol here aimed at her heart. But then at the end it all comes together so pretty though. Yeah, I found a whistle that works. So he's gone through all these whistles, we'll say, and now he's finally got one that hangs like a charm on his neck that works every time, closes my mind every time. A cool little interesting track there that again might be in contention for my favorite tunes. And now we're going to go to what looks like the centerpiece of this record, 12 minutes long, Siberian Breaks, the second single, which is very unique to release a track this long as a single, but I like it, man. Andrew said it's his favorite song on the album, and it had noted it's kind of like 8 different songs strung together into one, and the general theme is about surfing in the Arctic Circle by Russia. Oh, okay. Well, that's piqued my interest, and at 12 minutes long, man, I'm expecting. I mean, if MGMT has packed so much into these 3 and 4 minute tunes, I can only imagine what we're gonna get at 12 minutes here. So let's get into it. Wow, Siberian Breaks. I already gotta heart that one too. For a song that was 12 minutes long, it definitely did not feel like it. And I think one of the reasons is that it's because it obviously switches up so much, like 4 or 5 times within the song that it's all just kind of strung together as Andrew kind of noted. And man, it was a quick 12 minutes because of that reason. I looked down and at one point we were already 6 minutes through the track, and I had to do a double take, man, because it just was so effortless. That's a word I think that best describes this, man. It was so effortless. Everything just went together beautifully, and still was able to keep kind of with that theme that Andrew was talking about surfing in the Arctic Circle by Russia. There were some lines in there, a lot of lines about being cold or empty, or just kind of a barren situation, which is something that springs to mind when I'm thinking of surfing in the Arctic Circle. But man, so many great instruments in here as well. Like the start, I believe we had that sitar coming back in and creeping up, and the second portion of the song reminded me of some like Sid Barrett era Pink Floyd, both in the vocals and just in kind of that spacey atmosphere that was being brought forth. And it had one of my favorite lines, I think, in the song was, "If you're conscious, you must be depressed, or at least cynical." I thought that was just a spot-on line right there. The more you learn about life and the world, and the more knowledge you get, you almost get more depressed at how oppressive this world is, in a sense, or you at least become cynical to everything. But then we kind of went to a more rocking section of the track towards the latter half there, which I thought fit well. And at that point, it was Andrew's voice was so buried. You could barely. I was glad I had the lyrics up because you could barely hear it, and it almost fit with the whole motif of "But I hope I die before I get sold. I hope I die before I get sold." It's almost like his last gasping words there as he's way buried in the mix to all this busyness that was going on musically. And then at the end, kind of just let the synth go for about 2 minutes there, reminded me of kind of the Stranger Things intro, harking me back to that 80s synth style that they really did a great job using that synth on, of course, Oracular Spectacular, and they're doing another great job maturing that type of sound on this one. And I think this is great in the track listing as well. I know we still got a few tunes left, but the centerpiece of the record seems like it should be this, and it's brought forth what was good in those previous tracks that we've already heard. It all brought that to a head and peaked here. So Siberian Breaks, spoiler, this is going to be in my favorite tracks for sure, man. And now we're going to go to Brian Eno, just a legendary figure in music, has worked with so many greats, and has also, as a producer, and also has his own solo career as well. Eno himself described this song as very flattering and added, "I appreciate the way they managed to make the song both fond and tongue-in-cheek at the same time." So 3 songs left, y'all. Let's see what we got here. All right, Brian Eno coming in here as our 7th track. What a bit of a quirky tune, man. Subject matter that on paper you'd be like, I don't know, MGT, how that's gonna work. But man, I should learn not to doubt these guys, man, because they made this one work as well. Just starting off very just kind of pulls you in right away. So tired, soul searching, I followed sounds to a cathedral. Imagine my surprise to find they were produced by Brian Eno. So Brian Eno's producing these sounds here. Almost, and then the way the synths and organ were coming in kind of gave that almost old school, like, Frankenstein type of sound. Like, oh man, what's this? What's Brian Eno doing here in the distance, man? And even Ben said actually that this is like a master apprentice story. Brian Eno is more of a sorcerer, and I'm the student. Eventually, he turns on the student. So the whole sorcerer thing, whenever you come to it from that perspective, I think works quite a bit. And then he goes he goes and he talks about the oblique strategies that Brian Eno has used. I don't know a lot about him. I've heard the term before, but he would use those to kind of he created them to spark people he would work with, their creativity if they were in a writer's block or anything. So that's one of the things that he is teaching our apprentice here in this one. He says, and everything I say is true, because if I was telling lies, it'd probably show. I can tell when he's kind of smiling, but what does he know? What does he know? And then the chorus, man, so catchy. We're always one step behind him. He's Brian Eno. And we get the backing vocals, Brian Eno. You can't help but just shout. And I mean, Brian Eno, he's got a name that's just fun to say, like in full. Some people are like that. You can't just say Brian. You can't just say Eno. He's like, oh yeah, that's Brian Eno. One of those names that just flows off the tongue real well. Unlike his full name, which also gets a name shot, Brian Peter George St. John La Baptiste de La Salle Eno. So I thought that was, again, a little bit cheeky, cool way that MGMT was able to put his name in there like that. Yeah, this apprentice, man, isn't that how it always is? At a certain point, whenever you're getting mentored, you're like, what does this guy really know, man? Maybe I'm at this point, but I think the chorus is clear. Hey, man, we're always one step behind him. Obviously, big influence on MGMT, on their sound a little bit as well, and just as a pioneer, of the ambient music genre, and MGMT taking some big influence from that. It's cool they were able to shout him out on this tune, and I'm glad that he enjoyed it as well. And so now we're going to go to an instrumental, Lady Dada's Nightmare. All right, Lady Dada's Nightmare, nice play on words of Lady Gaga, I would presume there. But yeah, we started off just with kind of the just setting the scene, going forth, and then like midway through the track we had these like the nightmare portion coming in, almost like these these screams that started off pretty loud and then got more and more faint as the track progressed a little bit, and then we kind of looped it full circle, going with the synth and kind of just lightly plucked guitar in there, and yeah, man, this is one good solid instrumental. Not going to be a favorite track for me or anything. I like what they were doing on a lot of the other songs with the instrumental shifts and whatnot, but I get kind of with the namesake that kind of the nightmarish. It was a bit ominous and whatnot at points. And I was reading here a cool little anecdote. In 2018, they did an interview saying that they initially asked Lou Reed to sing on this, and quote, he pretty much said it didn't need it. And then he talked about how we also didn't need managers, and our managers were there. That sounds like a totally Lou Reed legendary moment right there. Part of me would have wanted to hear Lou Reed's unique voice on that track to maybe add to the nightmarish nature. But as it stands, man, I thought it was good, not great for me. But we're gonna go now to Congratulations, which was the fourth and final single. Kid Cudi actually sampled the song for his third record on the track Immortal. And so after this, y'all, I'll give my favorite tracks and overall score. But bravo, MGMT, bringing Congratulations, the title track and closer here. Definitely the most personal track lyrically on this record. I mentioned earlier, a lot of these songs, I think you can have multiple interpretations on this, and I'm sure you can here, but it seems like it was definitely a track that hit close to home for Andrew and Ben, and talking about that newfound fame. It'd be very strange to be an artist trying to scrape your way on the rise, and then whenever Oracular Spectacular and the singles there were so huge, to be thrust into fame. He says, I've got someone to make reports that tell me how my money's spent, to book my stays and draw my blinds. You have all these perks now, so to speak, but he notes, so I can't tell what's really there, and all I need is great big congratulations. Here it seems that they want that I don't know, critical acclaim is the correct term, but they'd rather have that that love from their fans and from probably fellow artists and just the industry at large. Than since they already have the fame, they already have that popularity. I think they want to be taken serious for their music and their artistry, and that's just reflected in here. Definitely the vocals here reminded me of a very Kinks sounding Ray Davies. Big fan of the Kinks. Got a lot of their videos up on the channel here, and it just sonically kind of sounded like that as well. Really just enjoyed this one as a whole. And at the end, he notes, but damn my luck and damn these friends, they keep on coming back their smiles. I save my grace with half-ass guilt and lay down the quilt upon the lawn, spread my arms and soak up congratulations. Man, that was big. And then that line, as strange as it seems, I'd rather dissolve than have you ignore me. Ooh, that was a big, I think, line too, that just reflected that they'd rather dissolve, that's almost like fade away, but then you also got that contrasted, then have you ignore me, what's going on there. Man, it's this was just a great way to end the track. Definitely worthy of a single. Had a very chill atmosphere and vibe in it as well the whole time. So big time, and that transitions perfectly into now. It's time for my favorite tracks on this really good record here. I gotta go with Congratulations, which we just heard. I have to go with Siberian Breaks, which was my overall favorite. I think, man, it was just an epic tune. Was able to just blend together the lyrical content with the differing, musical shifts that they had in there. And then I'm gonna actually throw a little love to Brian Eno, man. Brian Eno was great. Someone's Missing was a really tight as well, but I think the Eno, just for how unique a track it was, it stood out to me. And now my overall score of the record on first listen, really enjoyed this one. There were only a couple tunes that I weren't like really feeling on first listen. All in all, man, nice tight record at only 9 tracks, just a little over 40 minutes long. Really thought that they put that psychedelic style at the forefront, man, and played on just differing, pop. We didn't have like Time to Pretend or a Kids or a Electric Feel, type of thing here, but we had them progress from that type of sound and be able to play and mature as artists, man, and I appreciated that for sure. So I'm feeling a strong 7.75 for me on this record for first listen. Definitely dug this one. I want to shout out Shane for bringing this one to me, and I always appreciate discovering music that I hadn't ever heard before. Let me know your thoughts on this record down below, y'all. Always like to hear from big fans of the band and how they see this record. I've heard a Little Dark Age that they released a few years back. It was really well acclaimed. I need to get on that as well. Give me some more suggestions from MGMT, and I guess that'll wrap it up from here today, y'all. Had a really fun time doing this one, and until next time, thanks for watching, happy listening, and I will see ya.